Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great weekend. So today I want to talk about Btcmyk, our project here. Going to officially be moving to Lbry TV. We have already been posting content there in the past. And now we're going to start doing a lot more exclusive content to Lbry TV, we believe. We believe it's a great platform with a lot of potential there. And we think it's going to integrate good with the Btcmyk product. We're also going to show you how to obtain an account with us. Now that the accounts are going to be subscription based, but also you're going to have many ways to obtain it free, so you don't have to worry about if you don't want to pay for a membership in the Btcmyk site. But let's get into what's happening first with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is crashing, right? It touched like $9,000 today. And it's no accident I'm on this page. I'm looking at some of the history here of Facebook. Facebook continues to grow despite ad boycott. Facebook posts revenue growth despite pandemic. Facebook is still growing despite criticism. Facebook keeps growing despite scandals. And here's the thing, guys, about Facebook and why this is important in this conversation, right? If you watch the channel, you know I've drawn this very thin line between the future of cryptocurrency and social media, right? I believe these things go hand in hand, and you're going to need those elements to really drive this space. If the internet is the nervous system of the world, right? Then I would say social media is the heartbeat. And we really need to integrate social media, I think, into our cryptocurrency. What we got with Facebook wanting to come out with this cryptocurrency was it was going to have 2.7 billion users, right? Making it a global cryptocurrency, making it the biggest cryptocurrency, dwarfing Bitcoin. And this is the problem I'm finding out with Bitcoin. As we look at the growth curve of Facebook versus Bitcoin, although Bitcoin is said to be the greatest investment of the last decade, and that is true, Bitcoin has still just pretty much been pushed based on a speculative its speculative nature, right? In other words, it hasn't been very impressive in being accepted as a currency or anything like that. The narrative was changed at its Gold 2.0. But the problem is there's nothing wrong really with Gold 1.0. And so it's going to be difficult for Bitcoin to get into that store of value space in that way. As gold's been tested thousands of years, Bitcoin was just kind of pushed there, some believe, by venture capitalists after they found out it couldn't be a currency. But whatever it is, the story of Bitcoin is a complex one. And we have to really look at what Bitcoin is going to be like in the future. What exactly is driving Bitcoin right now? Because we spoke about the halving, where we would see these record gains, Bitcoiners countdowns to the halving. We've had the halving, and Bitcoin still struggling to maintain $10,000. What is exactly supposed to happen with Bitcoin that hasn't already happened, or that hasn't already been projected to happen? And this is quite concerning. I wonder if this is the narrative, that's going to be able to propel Bitcoin forward. In addition to that, Ethereum seems to be the cryptocurrency that makes the most sense. It's the one that's probably going to have more practical application in the real world with the smart contracts as such. And right now, a lot of hype is in the DeFi tokens, right? although they're a whole nother problem and a whole nother topic, but they still seem to make more sense than Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin needs a social media integration, similar to what's happening with Reddit and Ethereum. That's gonna, make it work, because one problem with the idea of total decentralization of a cryptocurrency is that there's no one incentivized to market for it or push it. And without that, who's going to find the use and value in Bitcoin? And I just don't see where that's going to happen. I don't I don't see the people at the top of Bitcoin investing in marketing and research in Bitcoin, getting it out to the public. I don't see any of that, and that's very odd. But that's what seems to be happening, and I don't think it's helpful to Bitcoin. It would seem to me that Bitcoin's would just become this over speculative device that has no purpose outside of that. And I don't think that's a good thing. But anyway, let's talk about Bitcoin MYK and what's going on with us and the integration we're now doing with Lbry TV. All right, so we're now here on Lbry TV. Lbry, the cryptocurrency social media platform that many of us have probably heard about. And so I thought it was important that Bitcoin MYK, when we think about Bitcoin and we talk about that social integration of Bitcoin and social media, products like Bitcoin MYK are designed for that purpose. And so video content is so very important to the learning and education of people. In fact, YouTube right now is considered to be the most educational website in existence. The audio-visual media content that's delivered to billions of people per day. But of course, YouTube has its problems with what would be data and censorship and things that many of us believe will be a problem in the future. So that's where Lbry TV comes in. Now, with a project like Bitcoin MYK, we run into the same issues and problems as Bitcoin does in relation to the aspect of who's going to market for it, who's going to care enough about these products to push it forward. And so by integrating with partners and affiliates like Lbry TV, what it allows us to do is it allows us to keep the Bitcoin MYK project, the universal basic income portion of it, the many projects that are going to be done on Bitcoin MYK. It helps to fund that, and it helps to keep our service as freemium services. Why are freemium services so important? Well, as we start the video, if you look at the growth of Facebook, how it's pushing out a value of $1 trillion, that's due in large part to freemium services. Now, I think the incorrect narrative about many of these cryptocurrencies is that people need to come in, they have to spend money on them, they have to buy them, they have to invest in them directly. And I think that's not exactly true, right? In fact, it's very likely that people won't do that, investing in projects they know very little about, that are very high risk. And I don't think that's going to be the road to mass adoption for cryptocurrency. I think an approach like what we're doing with Bitcoin MYK will. And the way we're able to do this is by working with partners like affiliate programs like Lbry TV. Is when you register to get a free account with us, you're able to get that account by registering through Lbry TV. Once that's done, you have a free account with us, and it still helps to fund our project and keep it moving forward. So it's very important. Now, we have a subscription service membership for those who do not wish to have to go through that inconvenience registration process with Lbry TV. It's fairly easy and fairly simple and fast. I think it took me about a minute to register with Lbry TV, but you can obtain our accounts for just $1. It's just $1 that you can get over on memo.cash, and we'll leave a link in the description. You can ask some questions on the video here in the comment section. And this is going to help to boost the value of our project, our cryptocurrency project. Very important it stays sustainable, and we really like having our content over on Lbry TV, getting value over there and sharing it with you all. So make sure you follow us over there as well. So to get a free account, you're only going to need to register through Lbry TV. We'll leave a link in the description, and then go on to just follow us there. And when you do that, you got a free account with us. And if not, you can go to Memo Cash and just spend $1, and you have an account with us for life. All right. And that's how easy it is to get a wallet. And this helps keep us sustainable and keep the growth of the cryptocurrency growing. Also, keep in mind, as Bitcoin MYK grows, its deflationary rate is designed to be, the inflation rate is designed to be much lower than Bitcoin, much lower than the US dollar. And so the network is being spread about and giving value back to the token holders. That's what's so very unique about Bitcoin MYK, and why we think it's a great, fantastic project, and one that many of you all we think are going to benefit greatly from going into the future. Yeah, that's what's happening with that. If you haven't registered already with us through Lbry TV, we would ask that you do that. And again, if you have any questions about the direction of Bitcoin MYK, please feel free to let us know. But we believe freemium services is what's going to get us there. Our belief is we've been doing it all incorrectly, setting up these investment schemes, as it were, it would seem, to the general public. And I don't think it's going over well with them. I think we have to build real products. And I think we're going to be able to achieve that through social media. Let's get over to Bitcoin MYK before we close the video here. All right, here on the Bitcoin MYK site. And the user interface is similar to a video content interface. Where you can watch videos and you can earn from watching the videos once you get a Bitcoin MYK account. You're going to be able to do that again. Excuse me. You're going to be able to do that again 2 ways. One way you can do it through sign up with our link on Lbry TV, which you'll get the account free, or through our subscription service, you're able to get get it for $1 on memo.cash, get an account. And once you get that account, you're going to be able to earn our cryptocurrency. You're going to be able to do many of the features that are allowed with the Bitcoin MYK site. Our confusion with a lot of cryptocurrency is, if you look at a product like Bitcoin, we don't really know how to value it. All right. And that's why I believe we get these very erratic prices in the market. Look at something like Facebook. It's kind of easy to find the true value of Facebook because of the amount of users it has, right? Companies are able to pretty much determine on average how much money is going to be able to be made through each user. So social media depends a great deal on growth. Cryptocurrency, the argument is the technology creates more value than the people actually using or doing anything with it. And that's kind of problematic in that technology's value is always going to be as important as the people it helps and as important as the problems it solves. And that doesn't seem to be happening with many cryptocurrencies, although the narrative is that they will at some point in the future, or we will find some use. But that hasn't happened, and we don't know if that's going to happen. We believe that there are many social aspects to cryptocurrency, specifically the early days of Bitcoin. The development teams involved with Bitcoin in the very early days didn't make any money. And so they were driven anyway to create these systems. So this is a pretty anti-capitalist system in its very beginning on the road to its success. Now it does end up very capitalistic, but the the problem is capitalism solves problems, right? It's incentive to create to solve these needs and problems. But Bitcoin, to me, is still kind of putting the cart before the horse, where it is saying it will solve a problem, but the problem hasn't been identified yet, right? Or it hasn't been brought to the world in a very comprehensible way to which they can understand it. And so it just becomes this very speculative device where you don't know where the price at. And it makes one think, is that really what it's all is supposed to be? Uh, Maybe. It's not playing out too well at this point in time. But Bitcoin MYK, we believe, is a real project that's going to really help people around the world. It's going to make a lot of sense to people. The universal basic income portion is very important because it deals with problems of innovation on the horizon, that over half the jobs will be lost to automation. It's happening now. Problems of the global pandemic has displaced a lot of people. Unemployment rates are a lot higher than are being reported because they're not taken into consideration. That people have stopped looking for jobs, and that people are part-time workers, and it's not enough to sustain them. So so those numbers aren't reporting the full issue with our economy, as well as many predictions of a recession going into 2021. And with less money, it's probably likely people aren't going to want to invest a lot in cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrency, this is the time for us to solve some major problems in the world. And I think we can do it with projects like Bitcoin MYK. Through universal basic income, we believe we can mass adopt. Now, we got a little bit of flack about using the Bitcoin name. You know, we should also keep in mind that Bitcoin is decentralized, so nobody owns the name. However, we have full respect for the creators of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency space. But it's important that we brand Bitcoin MYK to help people understand that the Bitcoin network now of over 50 million users will inherit Bitcoin MYK. They will be able to claim Bitcoin MYK cryptocurrency free in relation to their Bitcoin on a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's why it's important that we carry that name, because it very much mimics a fork in that way. We believe it's important that we unite the networks here in cryptocurrency already as we go out into the world, bring new people in. And we believe we're going to be able to do that. But it's going to be important that value is transferred amongst this cryptocurrency in order to give it value, so people are going to want to use it. And one way to do that is by signing up with our partners. That way you can come in, bring value on the way in, and we can have value within the project coming out of the gate. Or you're able to purchase the wallet without, sign up for anything else for just $1 in memo.cash. And so that's basically what's happening with the move of Bitcoin and MYK. A lot of great projects coming up in the future. We're going to be doing doing our own chain on Polkadot. We already have started our nodes up. Want to get on PolkaSwap, get our cryptocurrency on there. We believe PolkaSwap has shown to be a very up and coming and very powerful technology-wise chain with a lot of value. And we're definitely going to be a part of that community. And for the people part of the Polkadot community who view the channel, we hope that you get involved with Bitcoin MYK. We work on the proof of participation model. Proof of participation model is more about attention value than people buying the cryptocurrency directly. We don't think it makes a lot of logical sense to tell people to come into a space they hardly understand, don't have a use for, and tell them to buy something that's going to make them rich. And, in that way, we're not really solving problems. We're just gambling, and we're just dependent on greed to push us through. But that's not really how successful platforms and products work, is it? There has to be an actual need solved. Not a lot of hype and speculation, but people needs are being met. That's what's going to bring your cryptocurrencies to $1 trillion market cap, right? So that's all we want to say in this video. If you're interested in projects like Bitcoin MYK, leave a comment, get as much information as possible about it. Also subscribe to our channel, and subscribe to us over on Lbry TV. We'll leave the links in the description. Get you started. We think you're gonna like a project like Bitcoin MYK, kind of get off that roller coaster of products that are just pure speculation and just aren't living up to what many of us thought coming into the space. So we'd love to hear from you guys. Until next time, as always, take care.